I mean, the job that he did throwing the ball, decision making, and clearly he's more comfortable. He's seeing the field much better than he has in the past. And the thing that you got to give credit to Jalen is, and when I'm up there, I'm around him, I see the kid works, man. He's not, a BSer. He's not going to be just over there running his mouth and trying to impress people with the phony stuff. The kid works, and I think what it's done is, it galvanizes the whole team.
And their revenue stream kept going up. How come they kept getting richer and we had to take a haircut? I never got that. Why did the cap go down? Revenue didn't go down. Net wealth didn't go down for the owners. So when you say take haircuts for players, if I'm Jalen Hurts, why would I do that? What, because I love you? Shit. You give me, what are you, crazy? Guys, you should be rooting for him to get the most money he possibly can. Not hoping he takes less money. Well, because, they took a shot on me and he's, you know what it's called? Hey, I'm playing too. Okay, Merrill Reese was great in hour number 1. And I'll tell you something. Garry Cobb had to be impressed with what he saw last night. Let's bring our friend in from Fox 29. And Garry, your impressions from last night's dominating performance by the Eagles.
It was outstanding. I mean, there's no question about it that they were on top of their game. And it starts with Jalen. I mean, the job that he did throwing the ball, decision making, and clearly he's more comfortable. He's seeing the field much better than he has in the past. And the thing that you got to give credit to Jalen is, and when I'm up there, I'm around him, I see the kid works, man. He's not, a BSer. He's not going to be just over there running his mouth and trying to impress people with the phony stuff. The kid works, and I think what it's done is, it galvanizes the whole team. So everybody over there knows, look, we over here with the work. We're not over here playing games. And I think A.J. Brown and the kind of guys they have on the team are real people. I mean, they know that you got to put in the time and put in the work in order to prepare if you want to play well. You don't just show up on the game day, think you're just going to roll out. They've been putting in the work. And
how about this too, Garry?
Yeah.
The way he spread it around for the first time, it's clearly his best game as a pro.
That's right.
I mean, he wanted to get Devontae in with the first pass.
Yep.
Even the pass that Goddard dropped, he dropped it in with touch. And the seam pass he threw down to Quez, I mean, it really was his best overall performance. And I would say this to you. That has to go back to Shane and also Nick, doesn't it? On utilizing all of his strengths and getting the best out of the kid, because, boy, I'll tell you, that kid last night, he continues to play like that. There's going to be no questions about the money bag at the end of the year here.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, and it's scary. I know the rest of the league got to be looking over there and they see all those weapons. Now, see, in the first game, you can see Detroit, they weren't comfortable trying to deal with all those weapons. That's why they were sitting in the house. We cannot just let them run the offense because we can't cover all these guys, and I don't know who can. Because you look at Dallas Goedert, look at the ability he has. That's just your tight end. And then you got, the speed with Watkins. And that's why, I wanted to see Watkins get Peterson get Watkins. But, he got deep. And you see the kind of speed he's got. You got him there, and you still got A.J. Brown to worry about. You got Miles Sanders be concerned about all those weapons. And really, I'll be honest, offensive line still didn't play their best game, man. They beat those guys that easily. And, Jalen said this. They didn't play well the way they want to in that second half. And they owned them. And then the defense, the way they were able to clamp down on Jefferson and really they took Cousins out of his game. I mean, I've never seen Cousins play that poorly.
No, 2-10 now on Monday night. But Garry, was it more about the players' accountability and them stepping up than it was? I think it's more about the players playing great than the scheme, because I still see Hassan Reddick covering backs and tight ends, and I still see some stupid shit out there with that. And he's still out of place. The D-line played better. I mean, they got after it. I thought Fletcher played well. Hargrave played well.
Yeah.
But was it more about the players' accountability? And they were a little bit disappointed giving so many points up to the Lions, and that was more of it last night?
I thought so. Just up there around them, they got a very sober type of a team where, guys are mature. They got guys that know, look, we got to produce. And so I think with the older guys, clearly they got guys there to know what it takes to win. So they definitely have got the younger guys going in the right direction. And we'll see. I tell you, because, see, the thing is that they can play better than they played. See, that's where the rest of the league has got to look on and say, boy, if they play the entire game, like the offense, they didn't play that well in that second half, and they're capable, I think, of putting together a whole game. But these are the type of things they're going to be working towards. So they beat them up, handily, and didn't play their best game. So what does that say about how good this team could be? But of course, you got to do it. See, still you got to do it. Talking about it is one thing, but going out there doing it is another. But they took that was a major step, and to see Jalen so comfortably reading everything that they were in, and really, you can see they're scared of these guys because they played simple. They didn't really take many chances.
No.
Now I will give Gannon credit. He did come after him. He dialed up some blitzes, and really they came through because Cousins made mistakes when they put pressure on him. When they had a guy coming free, he threw a couple of those up for grabs, and the pressure was what that did it. So I'll give Gannon some credit that he did finally come out of that loose, soft
Second
zone.
best player on the field was Darius Slay, and how he's played. I mean, when you and you know this, Gary, he could be an all-pro because of what he did last night, because that's going to be a performance that you remember. You know how
I was saying it during the game.
Remember this? Watch this, Gary. Let me show you this here. Yeah. I show people this all the time. NFL players get a ballot.
Yeah.
And we get ballots. And here's a Pro Bowl ballot here. Yeah. And they have all of our names on it, and it's by position, and we vote. Yeah. That's the kind of performance, right, that gets you an all-pro vote.
No doubt about it. I mean, because, all the talk was about Jefferson come in there. He put the blanket on him.
He did. Okay?
Put the blanket on him, man. And the thing is, he had 2 interceptions. He could have had 4 or 5. I mean, think about it. There was a couple balls in his hands he didn't come down with. He had 2 picks. He could have had 4 or 5. So, and you saw that it seemed like Jefferson and Cousins, they were getting a little irritated at each other. And that happens when, you got somebody doing a good job against you. So they did a good job. I think that they're capable of playing better. And that's really the thing that jumps out at me is on both sides of the ball, they can play better than they did.
Are you worried about a letdown this week when you come off an emotional win like that on a Monday night at home? Then you have to play a divisional opponent. And let me throw some numbers at you with Wentz. 650 yards, first 2 games. He's averaging 325, 66 completion percentage. He's got 7 touchdowns. There's some talent on the offense. Antonio Gibson can run the ball. Their line is probably the 3rd worst line that they'll play in the first 3 weeks of the year. But just your thoughts again on having a small letdown here. It is Commander Wentz week. So, I mean, that should keep everything up on a high note. How do you look at this week?
Well, you can hear a lot of people, of course, going to be jumping on Wentz and everything. But I can't deny, I don't think anybody could deny that Wentz can play outstanding football at times. He can play well. I mean, even last year, they ran him out, of Indianapolis.
Look how that's working.
Hey, I know. That's what I'm saying. Look at Indianapolis. They got a lot. They need to shut up. That owner over there running his mouth, he needs to shut up because they can't bust a grape over there. So in saying that, I think that Wentz is capable of coming in here and playing well enough to beat the Eagles. So they got to be serious because, and then look at the motivation he's got coming in here. especially with them up on the high perch, to come in here and knock them off the perch. Come on. Would he like anything better than that? I mean, there's nothing that would be sweeter than that for Wentz.
Win. It'd be a massive, massive win for him.
Yeah.
We're able to do that. I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think Jalen Hurts, if you had to pick a quarterback in the NFC East right now, you think Hurts is the top quarterback in the East right now?
Well, I'd say right now, with the way he's played, he has played better than anybody. I mean, how important has his play been in the first 2 games for the Eagles?
Enormous.
Because the decisions he's made with his legs, the throws he's made with his arm, the guy's playing great football. The thing I still go back to is I don't like him running this much, though. I still don't like all that running, because all you need is in one of those piles where he tries to make one of those turns, somebody grabs that leg and doesn't let it go, and the other guy's twisting him. See, and the next thing you know, they're helping him up. You don't want that. So you got enough weapons where he doesn't need to run that much. Some of these guys, they clearly can't cover all the Eagles' weapons. Just get that ball out. But I do like the fact, getting on the ground. I do like the fact he does a good job of that, getting on the ground. But down by the goal line, like when he scored that touchdown, like I said, somebody grabs one leg, the other guy's pulling him the other way, and then, he's hurt. And you don't want that, because he right now is the most important person on this team, no doubt about that.
No question. A final question for you. Miles Sanders, 90 yards in game 1, 80 last night. How important has he been so far to the success of the team?
Well, I thought that he was one of the keys next to Jalen offensively that could take them up to another level. And we haven't seen all of him. The kid has got a tremendous talent. I mean, he's got the speed, he's got the size, he can give you that shake. If they got all these guys, playing at the level that they're capable of, and Miles is the key, that takes them up to another notch where they could be putting some 40 spots up on people, 40s and 50s. You're doing that in the NFL, that's scary. But they've got the kind of talent on the offense. And think about it. The offensive line, that was not one of their better games. The first game wasn't one of the offensive line's better games, but they still won both of those games handily, or were able to score. And so they're capable of playing better. I think that's got to be something the rest of the league's got to know. They better take notice, because this team is capable of playing better.
I know, man. I think
they're 2-0.
Notice, I mean,
yep,
they're going right there, and they've got the roster to win the war of it as well. Garry, thank you so much, man. It was a win. It's Commander Wentz week now, so we'll see how this thing plays out. Have a great one, brother.
Commander Wentz. That sounds good.
Thank you, Garry. Garry Cobb. All right, my friends, please hit the like button. Don't forget also, my friends at Morgan & Morgan, if you've been hurt or injured on the job, hey, one of the most important things you can get to defend you and your family and get the most compensation that you possibly can for your family. And that place is Morgan & Morgan. With over 800 attorneys and offices in Philadelphia, New York, and in Florida, Morgan & Morgan is there to defend you to the best of their abilities, and they will get you the compensation. Last 30 years, they've collected over $13.5 billion for their clients. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The call is free. The consultation's free. 800-512-1600. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, do me a favor. Tell them Dan Sileo sent you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. When you're hit from behind in a car crash, the insurance company may try to say, you can't possibly be hurt. It was only a few miles an hour. It's simply not true. You see, here's the thing. Getting hit at 10 miles per hour is like falling off of this. 15 miles per hour, like this. And only 25 miles per hour, this. Injured, dial pound law. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.